We're back with the Week 8 waiver wire, and this week we're starting off with Drake May. I've been hinting at Drake May here and there throughout my other videos, mentioning other players on this team you should add. And Drake May has really stepped up, two back-to-back 20-point games. He's coming into his own, no turnovers in this game, so like what I'm seeing from Drake May. And also Hunter Henry barely missed the cutoff. He's 31% rostered, but if he's available, looks like he's been a consistent option as well in a position that's been hard to nail down that tight end spot. And then for the next year, rookie running backs, I've been saying running backs in general has been a priority for me. I kind of went away from it in this video, but here's your spot. Get some of these rookie running backs before they emerge. Any injury could happen and give them some opportunity. Also, with the bye weeks, you've got players that are being dropped. Like, last week we had the Cowboys, so a Jalen Tolbert might have been dropped to make room for something like that. So take a look at who might have been dropped and stash some of these rookie running backs. Kamani Vidal played in the game last night, and J.K. Dobbins is getting a ton of work, but can that be sustainable? We've just got so many different guys that are really stepping up. We saw Sean Tucker in that game. I think he might be rostered now after having some breakout performances. Ray Davis. He seems to actually have a pretty solidified role. I could even pull that up here because I try not to duplicate and put the same players on the list week to week, right? But in this spot, I really do feel like this is a guy who's getting significant workload. You can see only 5 attempts, but maybe with the Amari Cooper addition, this offense overall is becoming more efficient. This is 2 weeks in a row Ray Davis has produced. So I like what I'm seeing from him. So yeah, keep an eye out for all of these rookies. Blake Corum, anything can happen there where he steps into a role. Jalen Wright, now that we've got Tua coming back, this whole offense could rise, and who knows what might happen there. Any of these rookie running backs, I'm willing to stash and take a shot on. And then next, we got some tough spots here with some injury news. Brandon Ayuk, he goes down with an injury, and really unfortunate to see. Looks like potentially an ACL. So next man up, we have seen Juwan Jennings rise to the occasion in this role in the past. He's been injured. We expect him to come back, but we saw a debut from Ricky Pearsall, their first-round draft pick, and maybe he was slated to overtake Brandon Ayuk before he had that gunshot wound and wasn't able to start this season. So now he's going to have his opportunity. 5 targets in his past game on 3 catches. Not too much, but there's going to be opportunity. Also, Deebo Samuel was in the hospital yesterday with pneumonia. So it's really looking like Kittle's the main option in this offense, but they're going to have to go to someone else between Jennings and Pearsall. So I'm prioritizing these players if I need a wide receiver. But there's another wide receiver who stepped in for a departing wide receiver, and that was our guy Cedric Tillman, and I've got him up here with 12 targets, so really just jumping right into that role. And don't forget we've got Njoku with 14 there, and that was an offseason prediction we had that Njoku would be the top target, and it was because they were the coaching staff was saying they were drawing up plays for Njoku all offseason. He was injured to start the year, so they kind of had to pivot away, but with Nick Chubb back, maybe some more passing opportunities with the Jameis Winston stepping in at quarterback. This offense may actually have one last chance to take a bit of an uptick. So Cedric Tillman I've got here. I'm also looking out for Elijah Moore as well. But, Jerry Jeudy's not below the roster threshold, so not going to mention him here. And then we'll move on, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the number 1 pass catcher for the Carolina Panthers, Jatavian Sanders. And, wouldn't have expected that already, but out the gate, he's been, a day 1 starter and primary pass catcher. This is 2 weeks in a row with really good targets. This week, he went 6 of 6. Early in the season, he struggled with some drops here and there, but he's kind of a bright spot for this team. Dalton did not have a great game, so it's rough overall, especially to expect any touchdowns. But if he can keep up this target share, I think he'll be able to produce for the tight end spot for us. And then we'll move on to another unfortunate injury to Chris Godwin. We did see him go down last night with an apparent broken ankle. Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, even Sterling Shepard to a certain degree. But you can see here, McMillan, 8 targets, only 3 receptions, 15 yards. Don't like to see that. Palmer down here, 3 targets, 1 catch. Palmer was stepping up for when we saw Mike Evans go down with the hamstring injury. Kind of a 1-to-1 replacement there, and I think McMillan might be the replacement for Godwin. It could be Shepard, since Shepard's a little bit smaller there. kind of naturally fits that role. But they did draft McMillan high, and they have to have some plans for this guy. So either way, there's going to be a significant increase in the role for those guys. And lastly, I've got the Oregon dynamic duo of Bo Nix and his former Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin, and it looked like they began to get a bit of a connection here in this past game. Troy Franklin, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 50 yards. They can build on this and keep that chemistry going. Bo Nix, he's been looking good for fantasy and decent for real life. So I think this is a offense that we were running away from, and not saying I'm running to them, but Javonte Williams had a great game as well. Maybe some things are starting to click over there. So that is your Week 8 waiver wires. Next week, we've got bye weeks of Pittsburgh and San Francisco 49ers. We did not have a bye this week in Week 8. And then after that, you got a Week 10. 4 teams on bye that you have to look forward to: Cleveland, Green Bay, Las Vegas, and Seattle. So good luck on the waivers tonight, and good luck in your matchups this week. Like, subscribe, and appreciate you guys. See ya.